that is the thing about this offense that gets overlooked because, yes, they're big plays, but the core of this is stretch out defenses and hammer them. And when you have the depth that you can do that with, that you're not feeling like you have to hold something back or not go as fast or whatever because you have depth at the running back, especially coming from where they were last season. Like Jeremiah Cobb had a really good year, but he was kind of it for Auburn. He had to be kind of that guy. If Bryson Washington is as advertised and he's back in health, I mean, that's another, dare I say, top, let's see, top 10, 15, 20 power conference running back these last couple seasons. And that's what you're bringing in the table. There's excitement about Mabson. I wrote about Nakai Davenport this week. I love him as a role player in this room. And then, Tay Meadows. I want to see what Tay Meadows can do because if he's just depth and he's just that's very, very valuable because you can trust him because he's a guy who's worked his way to this spot. And then on top of that, I like Jeremiah Cobb in a rotation. I don't know if and he hasn't had to be this guy in his career as much for various reasons, but I don't know if Jeremiah Cobb's the 20, 25 carry a game type of guy. It could be in the teens, and you have the depth to do that and keep him fresher, make him more be able to lean on his explosiveness while also not wearing him out. And I like the balance. I think Auburn's got a room full of guys where it's like you don't have a Tank Bigsby, you might not have a Jarquez Hunter in that room right now in terms of just star player, a Kerryon Johnson, a Trey Mason or anything like that. You might not have that kind of guy, but what you do have is you have depth and you have versatility. And in this modern game, especially with as fast as Auburn wants to play, you need that. And so, and it's just night and day from where you were last year is the other thing.
Yeah, and I wonder if I'm maybe a little bit more bullish on Jeremiah than you, just because I think that, the thought of him having 20 touches a game in conference play doesn't
No, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But, no. But I'm just saying, I think you could get really good production out of him, 12, 15, such carries a game, and he's been effective in those kind of games too.
And it is pretty remarkable when you think about how difficult it was for Auburn to throw the ball last year. The thought that Jeremiah was even able to contribute that much, because if you're
should have had 1,000 yards,
and yet it feels like going into every week, despite Auburn's superstars at wide receiver, the plan probably needed to be stop Jeremiah Cobb. Because if you stop Jeremiah Cobb, Auburn's offense has shown the ability to do nothing. That was the scout last year. And the thought of Jeremiah now playing with a quarterback who can do some damage, we've seen in recent Auburn history the impact of a Trey Mason, the impact of a Nick Marshall on the running back's ability to contribute. The way Jarrett Stidham unlocked things for Kerryon Johnson in a lot of ways. I know that, you also had some other things break right for Kerryon, but that's not the craziest example. Even Ben Tate getting Chris Todd after the 2008 season, right? Going from 08 to 09. It's suddenly the passing game opens up and it's a lot harder to stop this running back. And the thought of that happening with Jeremiah, I think it's on the table. One other thing about Jeremiah's season last year, I don't think, it wasn't the plan for him to be the running back who shoulders the load. That's